Hey, my name is Nina. I go by the alias Beautiful by Nina. I'm a colorist and a hairstylist. And today I'm going to do a tutorial about a new bob haircut that I feel is on trend right now. Just to show you a picture. It is an angled bob that's highly textured. You can either do it with a razor cut or you can do it with shears. Today I'll be doing shears. And what it is it's an angled texture bob, so I have a lot of texture, a lot of disconnection. What you may find new and trendy about it is the back has a little enclave where it is kind of tapering the neck, and then the bob line is brought up a little bit higher. I think that's on trend right now. The color's hot. I like the nice platinum pieces she has in front. A lot of texture. It's one of those looks that'll be great for hairstyling. You don't have to do a lot to it. You can just put some texture putty on it or spray wax. Kind of just separate the pieces, make it real piecey and angled and choppy, and it's good to go. So we'll start the haircut off. I started off by just sectioning the hair. Then I sectioned the hair right above it where the bob line is going to start. So our bob line will be right here. All the hair in a bob will fall to this point, going on an angle. Some key points in cutting the hair. I left out a side. You want to make sure that you don't cut a hole into the bob. So I took some hair out where the back side will connect with the front. So I want to keep that separate and cut it separate from the middle section, so that I won't do that. I won't cut a hole. And what a hole is, you take this hair and you cut it too short. This is a very pivotal part in the haircut. If you cut it too short, it's not going to evenly connect with the sides, and it's going to throw off the whole look. I sectioned the hair off up around the head shape, as you can tell. Did one low, one mid-center behind the apex, one right at the crown, two on the sides, and then they have the whole side section. Let's get started. So first, of course, if this was a live model, I would have her tilt her head. Then you literally want to just carve out that bottom section. If you want to know how much hair I left out, just that little area above the nape. About 1.5 inches. This is a fun haircut for somebody that's learning to cut hair, because I'm totally disconnecting it so it doesn't have any real hard. It's meant to be real peaceful. And then from that you can kind of like just notch cut it. Cut right into it. Then we'll come back to that. So you can kind of see we had a little shape going. We can leave the detailing for the end. You can see that choppiness, that randomness, the V shape, up and down. So then I'm going to go up the section where the bob is going to actually start. Remember, this is a totally disconnected A-line bob. Make sure your sections aren't too big. I want my line to stop right there. So we can still see that little bit of texture peeking through at the bottom. I want my line to hit right about here, right at the top of this texture point, so you can kind of still see that texture peeking through. The elevation is about 45 degrees. You might want it kind of choppy, so I'm not exactly doing a blunt cut. Had this been a razor, we would have got more of that effect right on. Since it's not, we'll go back and we'll add the texture. Angling the shears up instead of horizontal. Create more of that texture. Don't forget to drop the elevation slightly when you get to the sides. And over direct it inward to save some of the length. This is critical. It's part of that bob you don't want to cut too short. Check the balance. Take it a little bit shorter in here. On to the next section. Use a stationary guide, actually a traveling guide from the previous section. Bob is really, really edgy. It's not like the traditional classic bob with clean lines. It's really, really textured and disconnected. Kind of see how we don't want that blunt line. We want a little texture. It's the same effect you would get if you use your razor. I'm gonna go back and customize it after we smooth it. Take the next section, a little bit of the last section. Find my guide. Sometimes I can just go right in and add the texture. If you're watching at home and you're not a hairstylist, you can tell your stylist you want a texture bob with a little bit of shag and disconnection. And if they keep up with the trends, they should know exactly what that is. And if you are a stylist and you're in the salon and you're tired of the same old bob haircut that's been done a million times, right? Recommend this to your clients. Don't get bored doing the same thing. Especially if they're like a real edgy type of person. Throw some color in. And hair back up. Just to give it a little bit of a layer. This is one of those what you see is what you get haircuts. So I'm gonna just go in and a little bit of texture. Notch right into it where you shear it vertically. Notch right in. What that does is just gives the hair a shattering effect. So it's not so heavy and blunt. It moves more and it opens it up more. Or if you want to throw some cool color, well, that'd be cool if you throw some color underneath here. This back panel, like a rainbow effect, and notch it. You can kind of just see all those nice color peeking out. So remember these two sections, this side section that was going to connect. This front to the back. I want to cut into that. I think I want to leave it really, really long in the front. Very, very important part of the haircut. This is the part that connects the front and the back. Although it is disconnected, you have to have some sort of connection. Okay, we left it long for this purpose, so we wouldn't cut a hole into it. We want to make sure that it some way and somehow meets up with this line. I'm just gonna slide cut right into that. Find your guide. This one here. Disconnect. And I think I like that. I just think I like that hardcore disconnection right there. See all the texture we getting in the back? See the texture, see the layers? See that hard line right there? I'm just gonna break that up. Continue down on this line. You can make this as long or as short as you like. If your client just did a big chop, decided they wanted something different, if you are the client, you want something different, you started off subtle. A lot of times when we cut our hair, we still need a little bit to hold on to, especially when we cut a significant amount. If that's the case, you did want a short haircut, but you missed the safety and security of your hair, leave it a little bit longer on the sides. You can always go back in and make it shorter. Sometimes if we have that hair just around our face, it gives us the illusion of long hair. So you get the best of both worlds. In this case, we'll do just that. And if you feel like you're ready, you know, to go shorter and get edgier, you know, you always have the option to take this shorter. This hair out, separate it, slide cutting. I want to go right in right there, loosen it up. If I thin it out the bottom a little bit, see how we get more of the texture in the ends. top section, this section right above this one. I'll take it back, over direct it. Just to really give it some shape and movement. So what I did was I took this top section, which is right above the section, the bottom section that we just cut, and a little bit of that back section and connected the back to the side. Over directing it to keep the length. I'm slide cutting right into it. So then when you comb it forward, it creates a little bit of a layer. See that layer? Slide cutting it back and forth, elevating it as I do. Cut the bang last or the fringe. This is the last top section, so this is just like keeping with that same technique. We'll take this top section, over direct it slightly back to create those layers. Find your guide and slide cut. Remember, when you over direct it to the back, that's what keeps the length. Okay, so I'm going to take the other side and do the same thing. It's a little bit of a hard line, the edge I still have in here. See, I just kind of blend it better. Just going to texturize this a little bit. She got a little bit of a cowlick going on. Don't worry about it too much. Over direct this to the back. Find my guide, just right here. Take it on slope. Use your shears as if they were a razor. Section it off. Start I have to work in sections. So haircut is a series of disconnections, over direction, slide cutting, texturizing. Very trendy. Just want to blend the hair a little bit more. Take this top section, elevate it slightly, create a layer, bring it to the back section. See, I'm letting that layer fall out. Nice top section. I'm just texturizing this a little bit more. To balance it with the other side. So anybody that feels like this is a lot of cutting in the hair, remember, it's not taken away from the length. Your hair is gonna have much more movement. It's a highly textured bob, so. Wear straight across blunt. You have no bang. I think for her, I'm gonna leave it longer. Just gonna wear a heavy bang. So I wanna slightly layer it. Keep the sides up some. This side cut. Just frame the face a little bit. Really fading around his chin. When you're cutting a fringe, the nose is a good reference point. I decided to make her shortest length just at the tip of her nose. So based on this, I'm going to go right in.